Bienvenue à tous. Welcome to Reporters Plus here on France 24, our special programme bringing you in-depth insight into the big stories. In this edition, the warriors of the news, how Iraqis are reporting the operation to liberate Mosul. Our team has been following reporters on the front line, risking their lives to win the war of propaganda against the Islamic State group. There are some 40 different TV news channels in Iraq. Sunni, Shiite, Kurd, Christian. They all have their own sectarian bias, their own slant on the news. The two things that unite them, the common mission against the jihadists and the risks they take to get the story. Up close then, car bombs, suicide bombers, live ammunition fired just over their heads. Not all journalists live to file their reports for the next news bulletin. Our reports by Dominique Hennequin and Thierry Simonet.
With microphone and camera in hand, they are there for every skirmish, following the Iraqi army's advance on Mosul towards the final battle.
Hello everyone, how's your morale?
Around 1,500 Iraqi war reporters out on the ground to fight the war of communication against the Islamic State group.
Did you film that car bomb?
These information warriors accompany the troops right up to the front line to film combat up close. All are strongly patriotic, relying on the Iraqi flag and their God to protect them. Many are now well-known faces in their country due to the coverage. Actors in a terrifying reality television show that sometimes broadcast their own deaths. We are northeast of Baghdad, and the province of Diyala has recently been taken back from the Islamic State group. The villages have been secured, but groups of jihadists are still at large in the desert. The soldiers have to travel in columns of armoured cars, which are regularly attacked. 8 members of the police force have been killed in the past few days. Upstream from this dam, anti-terrorist SWAT units are scouting the desert. Ali Jawad, a journalist from the Al Iraqiyya channel, is covering this operation with his cameraman, Ali Abid.
What happened here?
In this area we found rockets, motorbikes, but also firearms.
The majority of Iraqis don't know what's happening in this area, nor the efforts being made by our forces. It's an isolated place, cut off from the world. Their only way of getting info is through us.
The SWAT team is ensuring that these abandoned houses are clear. Often doors or rooms can be rigged with booby traps. The two reporters have visited hundreds of houses like this since the Islamic State group first invaded Iraq 2 years ago.
This house used to be occupied by the Islamic State bandits and it's filled with weapons.
Here in Fallujah, they filmed the discovery of a stockpile of munitions, anti-tank mines and handmade mortars abandoned by the jihadists when they fled towards the center of town. From Tikrit to Ramadi to Anbar, these journalists are there to cover every battle. Sometimes they find themselves a little more than 10 meters away from Islamic State fighters.
We're right on the front line. As you can see, the enemy is only a few meters away.
The reporters have witnessed thousands of Iraqi families abandon their homes and flee from the battlefield. Here in Saklawiya, the fear is clearly visible on people's faces. Just out of firing range, this group think they've reached safety. But a suicide bomber hidden among them triggers his vest. The Islamic State group still has hundreds of willing candidates ready to do the same.
Ali, film over there.
سيارة مفخخة. سيارة؟ طائرة أعطيك.
The army column is continually battered by cars packed with explosives, aimed at slowing their advance.
هاي.
وجودنا بالخطوط الأمامية أكو فسر.
We're on the front line. We're there to show what the fighting is like. It's there where you can measure the fear. You can capture the joy, the excitement. Once they've cleared an area, they take down the Islamic State flag and they put up the Iraqi one. That proves their victory, and we're there to film it. Those moments are unforgettable.
The cameraman and journalist are still on the road in the evening. Ali Jawad says he's not simply reporting, he's on a mission.
I address this message to our forces on the front line, whether it be the heroes of our army or those in popular militias. I want this message to be a strong encouragement for our troops, but also I want to help break the morale of our enemies. The Islamic State group watches all our broadcasts and cannot stop the people under their control doing the same. God willing, I hope that soon there will be only the big city of Mosul left to liberate. I'm waiting for that. I feel real joy and hope, and I'm proud to do my job.
The journalists carry on working into the night, using a night vision equipped camera to capture the ongoing battle. Ali fearlessly stands out amid the flying bullets to do a live report.
Ali, let's go. Keep rolling.
Between battles, there are rare moments of calm. The team often sleeps in army barracks, so they're close by when the soldiers head back out into the fray. Leaving Baghdad, armoured columns fill the roads. 30,000 soldiers are coming together and heading north. The great battle for Mosul is clearly near at hand. This promises to be an intense time for Iraqi war correspondents. A team from the official channel of the Hashad al-Shabi Popular Mobilization Forces is out covering these preparations. Ahmed Kadum has been reporting on the counter-offensive against the Islamic State group for the past 2 years. He covers the day-to-day life of this army of volunteers. 120,000 men from different faiths and backgrounds, united with the regular army to take back the land.
We will destroy them. Curse the Islamic State group.
These envoys of Ayatollah Ali Sistani are Shiites from Najaf, here to ensure the offensive goes to plan. Ali Sistani was behind the fatwa that ordained the formation of the Popular Mobilization Forces.
If you look around you, this area is occupied by Shia, by Sunnis, Christians and by Yazidis. We interact with each other with no problem. Our beloved leader Sistani puts great emphasis on avoiding divisions. There must be no distance between Iraqis, whatever religion or ethnicity they are. All Iraqis are equal.
Ahmed sees himself as a soldier of information.
The war reporter can also be considered a soldier. With my camera, I do participate in some way in the fighting that I've witnessed across several wars now. The war reporter helps troops' morale, and he sees them to victory.
الإعلام الحربي هو جزء أو مكمل يعني لدعم الجيش والقوات الأمنية.
وأنت وياك سيارة عسكرية أصلاً ما عندك شيء.
High security checkpoints line the only route north towards Mosul. This thin stretch of road offers a strategic lifeline to the airfield acting as the rear base for the offensive. It may be officially clear, but the road is far from safe. There are guards at the roadside, but not enough to ensure protection for all the passing vehicles. They frequently come under attack from small groups of jihadists.
There are Daesh fighters in front of you, on the hills over there, 4 or 5 kilometers away. We can get them with artillery.
The soldiers are proud to be alongside Ahmed. They watch all of his reports on their telephones and hope that one day they will also be the heroes.
The media are great, they give us a lot of moral support. They're powerful and give us strength. We're in such good spirits.
Donations come from all over the country to make sure these troops are clothed and fed. When the meal is ready, all those who want to eat can finally take a break. Burnt-out skeletons of cars and trucks lined the road, marking the places hit by the Islamic State group. The target in this attack was a bunker further away, but this car packed with explosives never reached it.
There was a suicide attack this morning. The car came from over there, and it was trying to get to that area down there before crossing and hitting the equipment truck. The explosion happened here.
Due to the attack, the road is closed to all traffic. It's impossible to go any further, so we go back in the other direction. On the road back, Ahmed stops at Beji. There was intense fighting here to reclaim this former Islamic State stronghold. It's been left a ghost town, empty of its inhabitants. Most of the houses were rigged with traps left by Islamic State fighters when they pulled out. Nostalgia for the former regime and hostility towards the Shia government led the town to embrace the Sunni extremists.
People here were really on the Islamic State group's side. All this destruction you see was the work of the occupier. It'll be difficult for residents to return here one day. They destroyed everything, despite getting the support of these Beji locals.
Ahmed has little time for Sunnis who embrace the occupying jihadist forces. His reports are aimed at a Shia audience. Like a mirror held up to modern Iraqi society, television channels are divided by community. Iraqis can choose between more than 40 television channels, catering for Shiites, Sunnis, Kurds, Christians, and every political party. Dijla is the channel for Sunnis. Huna Baghdad is a Shia channel opposed to the government. Al-Farat, the Euphrates, is the channel from the Higher Islamic Council, a political party financed by Iran. Al-Ghadir has the same source of funding. All its money comes from neighboring Iran.
I'm going to give you a tour of the newsroom. This is one of the most important departments. Here we manage and organise the different subjects we're going to broadcast.
The station manager has no qualms with this source of funds. A portrait of Khamenei, the spiritual leader of the Iranian Revolution, hangs in his office. It's clear that Al Ghadir is geared exclusively towards the Shia cause.
كثرة الأحداث في العراق وارتفاع مؤشر الأخبار ومؤشر الأحداث التي
The accumulation of events over the past few years has seen an explosion in all kinds of media.
المقروء والمسموع
Across traditional media, but also on social networks and information from the web. All these media are trying to reach the biggest audience possible across Iraq.
There is one exception among these competing interests. The NRT channel refuses to take the government funding which is offered to other channels. NRT is owned by a wealthy Kurdish businessman who allows the channel to be more open with its coverage. Its chief editor says that independence is crucial.
The majority of news channels here are linked to Islamic parties, government groups, or certain military interest groups. Truly independent media is a rarity in Iraq. But our channel, NRT, really is independent. And since I've been in charge, I've never experienced any censorship.
Meanwhile, the battle for Mosul is the main show on television right now, whatever the channel. Propaganda videos call for people to sign up for the fight. It's proved an effective media tactic to get men into the civilian militias. They're also a response to the slick videos produced by the Islamic State group. In the past few months, traffic to jihadist sites has dipped significantly. The national channel, Al Iraqi, churns out non-stop war footage, with Ali Jawad as its star presenter. Every week he produces Riposte, a 52-minute program well regarded by the general population and by the armed forces. Using tight editing techniques and stirring music, he turns them into reality action epics.
This type of broadcast helps to mobilize Iraqi society. We're building a national collective conscience. We're showing everyone what kind of danger the Islamic State group represents.
Ali Jawad and his cameraman have escaped death several times. A bullet in the leg, then a few weeks later, serious burns after being in range of a rocket explosion. Ali is taking a break from his show, a short pause which he uses to spend time with his wife and 6 children. His program is being shown as the family eat lunch. Work is never far away and his phone always stays plugged in and by his side.
Of course, my children are afraid when they see me on television in the battlefield. I try to reassure them. I tell them the situation is under control and that there's no danger. Despite that, with every broadcast, they're afraid.
Next to his awards, a photo of his best friend, Ali Mahmoud, is also on display. A cameraman who was at his side for all his missions and who was killed at the same time as the reporter was injured. This memorial brings together portraits of all the recently martyred journalists. 10 have been killed and 30 injured since the fight against the Islamic State group started 2 years ago. Since 2003, 450 journalists have been killed in Iraq, more than during the Second World War and the Vietnam War. Ali Amjad was hit by an Islamic State sniper and lost the use of his legs, but says he's determined to return to his job as a cameraman one day.
I don't want to depend on people because I'm handicapped. Even if they don't help me, or if I don't get authorization, I want to do my job. I can still be useful, not necessarily on the battlefield, but I do want to go back to my work as a war reporter, a day I dream about.
The feeling in the country is that victory in the Mosul offensive is just a matter of time. The Iraqi government has put substantial resources aside to make sure the journalist on the ground can cover it properly. That includes supplying 25 satellite trucks and 10 special internet-connected cars to broadcast the battle live.
The press office for the Popular Mobilization Forces makes sure everything is made available to broadcast the information showing the truth without any restrictions or censorship, so that the whole world can understand what the Islamic State group represents.
As usual, Ali and his cameraman are at the front, close to the battles taking place in the villages around Mosul. The team are accompanying police forces who are carrying out a house-to-house search. The Islamic State group appears to have completely abandoned the village.
This is a position deserted by the Islamic State group. Here you have a makeshift missile launcher.
Watch out, it might be booby-trapped.
Ali is accompanying a soldier who has returned to help liberate his hometown.
I knew Islamic State members. Some of my own family joined them. My 2 cousins. My mother knew I'd been wounded and she wanted to come and see me. These 2 cousins took her and gave her 100 lashes.
Where's your father?
There he is.
He's just been reunited with his father after more than 2.5 years.
Hello. Don't cry. Don't be afraid. By God, I'll avenge you. I'll avenge you.
The sequence is due to take a prime position in Ali's next report. Covering the war every day means dealing with many strong emotions. And for Ali, the question is, what will he do once the Islamic State group has gone and the war over?
Let's go.
There's no time to reply. The war is still raging and drawing this team of reporters towards the heart of Mosul.
Reporters in Iraq united in their mission to defeat the Islamic State group. Will Sunni and Shia share the same sense of togetherness after their common aim is done, or will there be renewed civil conflict? That's it for this edition of Reporters Plus. You can see it again, of course, on our website, france24.com, for more coverage of all the world's news. Stay with us.